Men and women often approach relationships with mindsets shaped not only by biology, but also by upbringing, social expectations, and emotional conditioning. While every individual is unique, certain patterns appear consistently across genders, influencing how they express love, handle conflict, and interpret emotional cues. Men tend to value problem-solving, independence, and logic. Women often emphasize emotional connection, empathy, and communication. These differences aren't about superiority, but about contrasting psychological wiring that can naturally create misunderstandings if left unexplored. For example, when a woman shares a problem, she often seeks emotional validation first, whereas a man may instantly shift into fix-it mode, assuming solutions equal support. This mismatch can make the woman feel unheard and the man feel unappreciated. Similarly, men may withdraw during stress, a behavior driven by their need to process internally, while women might interpret withdrawal as emotional distancing or detachment. Understanding these subconscious patterns transforms relationships from confusing to collaborative. The true power lies in recognizing that men and women aren't opposites, they're complementary. By appreciating each other's natural tendencies, couples create emotional safety, decrease conflict, and deepen intimacy. Relationship success, therefore, doesn't come from eliminating differences, but from learning how to navigate them with curiosity, patience, and mutual respect. Communication is one of the clearest places where male and female psychological differences become visible. Women generally use communication to build emotional closeness, share inner experiences, and create a bond through vulnerability. Men, on the other hand, often communicate with purpose, aiming to exchange information, solve issues, or achieve clarity. This is why women may speak with nuance, detail, and emotional layers, while men may choose concise wording that seems direct or even blunt. In relationships, these styles can clash. A woman may interpret short responses as lack of interest, while a man might feel overwhelmed by emotional depth he doesn't yet know how to navigate. Additionally, women tend to read nonverbal cues more accurately, while men often rely more on literal language. This means a woman may sense emotional shifts instantly, whereas a man may unintentionally overlook subtle signals. These differences don't make communication impossible. They simply require attunement. When partners learn to translate each other's communication language, misunderstandings decrease dramatically. A man who learns to actively listen without jumping to solutions helps a woman feel emotionally safe. A woman who communicates her needs directly, rather than hinting, helps a man respond accurately. Effective communication isn't about talking more, it's about talking in ways that honor each other's psychological style. Emotional processing differs significantly between genders due to both brain wiring and societal conditioning. Men are more likely to process emotions internally, taking time alone to think, analyze, or decompress. This tendency, often called cave mode, helps them regain emotional balance. Women, however, often process emotions externally through conversation, connection, and verbal expression. This expressive style helps them feel supported and understood. When these patterns interact in a relationship, conflict can arise. A woman expressing emotions may assume her partner's withdrawal means indifference, when in reality, he is simply overwhelmed and needs space to regulate. A man may interpret emotional intensity as pressure or escalation, when it is actually her way of seeking closeness. Both intentions are valid, but the mismatch fuels misunderstandings. Healthy couples learn to meet in the middle. Men can practice offering short but reassuring emotional check-ins before taking space, while women can provide room for their partner's processing without personalizing the withdrawal. Neither style is wrong. They are complementary methods designed for emotional balance. Real intimacy develops when both partners understand that emotional expression and emotional retreat are not threats but natural responses that, when respected, strengthen trust and connection. One of the most fundamental psychological differences is what men and women prioritize at the core of a relationship. Men generally crave respect, feeling valued, appreciated, and trusted in their role. Women, however, prioritize emotional security, feeling heard, protected, and emotionally connected. When a man receives respect, he becomes more loving. When a woman feels secure, she becomes more supportive. Problems emerge when these needs are misunderstood. A woman may unknowingly speak in ways that sound critical or dismissive, triggering a man's fear of inadequacy. A man may pull away emotionally, thinking he is avoiding conflict, but this withdrawal threatens a woman's sense of security. The cycle continues until both feel unfulfilled. The solution lies in recognizing that respect and emotional security are not gendered weaknesses, they are foundational needs. When a woman expresses appreciation, a man feels empowered to give more emotionally. When a man offers consistency and emotional presence, a woman feels safe to be open and affectionate. Relationships thrive when both partners understand that fulfilling each other's core needs does not diminish them, it enhances the partnership. By honoring these natural psychological differences, couples create a stable emotional environment where love can grow freely. Love expression differs widely between men and women, often leading to confusion when intentions are misunderstood. Men typically express love through actions, fixing things, providing solutions, offering protection, or supporting financially. This action-based love comes from their instincts to demonstrate commitment through doing rather than saying. Women, meanwhile, often express love through nurturing behaviors, emotional sharing, thoughtful gestures, and verbal affection. Women feel bonded by meaningful conversations, emotional presence, and subtle attentiveness. These contrasting expressions sometimes create a disconnect. A man may feel he's showing deep love by solving problems or working hard, but a woman might still crave emotional affirmation. Conversely, a woman may show abundant affection, yet the man may not recognize it as love if it doesn't align with his preferred expression style. The key is recognizing that both forms of love are valid, just different. When partners learn each other's love language, communication becomes seamless. Men feel more appreciated when their efforts are acknowledged. Women feel cherished when emotional intimacy is prioritized. Understanding these differences turns potential conflicts into opportunities for deeper connection. A relationship thrives when both partners are bilingual in love, able to speak their own language, but also learning their partners. Men and women often handle conflict with contrasting instincts. Men usually prefer direct, solution-oriented confrontation. Define the issue, find a fix, move on. Their goal is efficiency and resolution. Women, however, often approach conflict emotionally. They want to talk through feelings, understand the emotional root, and restore connection before moving forward. This difference creates a common pattern. Men may become defensive or withdraw when emotional intensity rises, while women may feel invalidated when men try to minimize or rush through the conversation. Men avoid conflict to maintain peace. Women initiate it to regain closeness. Both intentions are good, just different. The key to harmony lies in timing and tone. Men can learn to tolerate emotional expression without feeling attacked, while women can present concerns in a way that feels less overwhelming. Couples who master this balance develop healthier conflict cycles. Arguments become opportunities for clarity rather than battles for control. Emotional intelligence grows when both partners understand that conflict isn't the enemy, it's the doorway to deeper trust. Expectations quietly influence every relationship, shaping how partners interpret behaviors and react emotionally. Men and women often carry different expectations based on their psychological makeup. Men may expect appreciation for their contributions, personal space for decompression, or logical communication during disagreements. Women may expect emotional presence, consistency, affection, and verbal reassurance. When these expectations remain unspoken, disappointment builds, not because one partner is wrong, but because their internal blueprint differs. For example, a man might expect that working hard automatically earns emotional closeness, while a woman might expect that meaningful time together is necessary for connection. Both are valid, but mismatched. When partners clearly communicate their expectations, clarity replaces confusion. Expressing needs isn't demanding, it's guiding the relationship toward success. The healthiest relationships form when both partners update their expectations based on real understanding rather than assumptions. With awareness, expectations become bridges, not barriers. Emotional needs are the core drivers behind relationship behaviors. Men tend to seek peace, emotional stability, less confrontation, and a sense of mental calm. This desire stems from their instinct to avoid emotional chaos and maintain control. Women, however, seek connection, emotional engagement, closeness, and shared understanding. Their nervous systems often regulate through relational bonding, making connection essential for emotional well-being. When these needs collide in a relationship, conflict can arise. A man avoiding conflict may seem distant, threatening the woman's need for connection. A woman seeking deeper discussion may seem confrontational, threatening the man's need for peace. Couples thrive when they understand these differences not as opposites, but as complements. Peace makes connection possible. Connection makes peace meaningful. By respecting each other's emotional needs, both partners create a relationship environment where love flows naturally without pressure or fear. Decision-making styles differ significantly between men and women, influencing how they navigate daily choices, long-term plans, and relationship challenges. Men tend to rely more on logic, evaluating facts, risks, and outcomes before choosing a direction. Their decisions often come from a desire for clarity, efficiency, and control. Women, meanwhile, frequently rely on intuition, an internal emotional attachment styles, secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful, shape how people give and receive love. While attachment styles are not strictly gendered, men and women tend to express them differently due to societal conditioning. Men with avoidant tendencies may appear distant, less expressive, or guarded. They fear vulnerability because they associate emotions with weakness or loss of control. Women with anxious tendencies may appear clingy, overthinking, or emotionally intense. They fear emotional distance because they equate it with disconnection. These expressions can create cycles where avoidance triggers anxiety, and anxiety triggers more avoidance. However, when both partners understand their attachment patterns, they can break these cycles. Emotionally secure partners offer reassurance without judgment and space without fear. Communication becomes more honest, allowing each partner to feel valued rather than criticized. Attachment understanding helps couples develop emotional maturity, turning insecurities into opportunities for growth. The concept of love languages, words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and physical touch reveals deeper insights into male and female mindsets. Men often lean toward physical touch and acts of service because these forms align with action-driven affection. Fixing something, offering help, or being physically close feels like love to them. Women often lean toward quality time and words of affirmation, valuing emotional depth and verbal reassurance. However, these are general patterns, not fixed rules. Problems arise when partners express love in their own language but fail to understand their partner's needs. For example, a man may work tirelessly for his partner, believing his effort expresses love. Yet she may still feel emotionally disconnected without quality time. Similarly, a woman may give constant verbal affection, but her partner may crave small helpful actions instead. Healthy couples learn to speak each other's love language. This adaptability strengthens emotional connection and helps partners feel truly understood. When both people respect each other's love language, love stops feeling like a guessing game and becomes a shared emotional experience. Men and women often enter commitment with different psychological motivations. Women generally seek emotional security, consistency, reassurance, and the dependable bond that feels safe. Commitment represents emotional stability and deeper intimacy. Men, however, often associate commitment with responsibility, protection, and long-term leadership within the relationship. Their concerns usually revolve around losing freedom, failing expectations, or not being enough. This contrast sometimes creates tension. A woman may interpret hesitation as lack of love, while a man may simply be processing the weight of commitment. When pressured, men may retreat. When uncertain, women may seek more closeness. The misunderstanding worsens when partners don't communicate their fears openly. The truth is, both men and women ultimately want the same thing, lasting love, but they approach it differently. When a woman provides emotional patience and reassurance, a man feels encouraged to step into commitment more confidently. When a man offers transparency and consistent presence, a woman feels secure enough to trust the future. Healthy relationships thrive when both partners understand that commitment isn't a trap for men or an entitlement for women. It's a shared emotional agreement built on respect, balance, and mutual understanding. Jealousy appears in both genders, but manifests differently due to psychological and social conditioning. Men often experience jealousy related to physical attraction or perceived competition. Their insecurity usually stems from fear of inadequacy, feeling replaced or not being good enough. Their reaction may appear silent, irritated, or protective. Women, on the other hand, often feel jealousy rooted in emotional connection. They worry about losing their partner's attention, affection, or emotional presence. Their response may involve questioning, seeking reassurance, or expressing concern. When these reactions mix, misunderstandings arise. A man may hide jealousy thinking it's weak, while a woman misinterprets the silence as indifference. A woman may verbalize insecurity to feel closer, while a man interprets it as doubt or criticism. The key to healthy resolution is vulnerability. When partners admit insecurities without blame, jealousy becomes an opportunity for deeper intimacy rather than conflict. Men feel stronger when their emotional fears are understood, and women feel safer when their emotional needs are acknowledged. Validation plays different psychological roles for men and women. Men seek validation for their efforts, decisions, and capabilities. Being recognized makes them feel respected and valued. When a man's contributions go unnoticed, he may feel discouraged or disconnected. Women seek validation for their emotions, experiences, and feelings. Being understood makes them feel secure and emotionally connected. When their emotional world is dismissed, they may feel lonely or unheard. The mistake couples often make is offering the wrong form of validation. A man might give solutions when a woman wants empathy. A woman might offer emotional support when a man wants appreciation. When partners learn each other's validation needs, communication transforms. A simple, "I appreciate what you did today," uplifts a man profoundly. A gentle, "I understand why you feel that way," can instantly calm a woman's emotional worries. Validation is not about agreeing, it's about acknowledging the other person's experience. When both partners learn this skill, emotional intimacy becomes effortless. Intimacy holds different meanings depending on psychological wiring. Men often feel emotionally connected through physical intimacy. Physical closeness, affection, and intimacy act as their pathway to emotional openness. Women, conversely, require emotional intimacy first, trust, communication, and vulnerability before fully engaging in physical intimacy. This opposite pattern sometimes creates a loop. Men want physical closeness to feel emotionally bonded, while women want emotional bonding before physical closeness. When misunderstood, this can lead to frustration on both sides. The reality is that both needs are valid and complementary. When a man invests in emotional closeness, listening, connecting, and showing presence, it naturally builds the comfort a woman needs for physical intimacy. When a woman reciprocates physical affection, it helps a man feel more emotionally open, expressive, and connected. Understanding this difference bridges the gap between emotional and physical connection, creating deeper intimacy where both partners feel fulfilled, desired, and understood. Ego plays a silent but powerful role in how men and women behave in relationships. For men, ego is often tied to capability, strength, and competence. When a man feels criticized, corrected too often, or compared to others, his ego interprets it as failure or inadequacy. This doesn't mean he is weak. It means he equates love with being valued for his efforts. Women, on the other hand, have an ego tied to emotional worth, being chosen, prioritized, and cherished. When a woman feels ignored, dismissed, or emotionally sidelined, her ego interprets it as being unimportant or unloved. These ego triggers create misunderstandings. A man may shut down defensively to protect his pride, while a woman may express frustration to regain emotional acknowledgement. The conflict isn't about the actual issue, it's about the bruised ego underneath. Healthy relationships thrive when partners understand these hidden ego sensitivities. Men respond best to appreciation and respectful communication, while women respond best to presence, reassurance, and emotional attentiveness. When both partners learn not to attack each other's ego, but instead support it, love becomes a space of growth rather than defensiveness. A protected ego leads to emotional safety, and emotional safety leads to deeper love. Trust is the foundation of every relationship, but men and women define trust differently. Men generally seek loyalty,